Here we are. Coach, welcome. Matt Chazanow, Jeff Gravley, NC State basketball. Why NC State? Welcome to Raleigh.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Very, very excited. I think this program has unlimited potential, and it's our job to come in here and build a consistent winner. We want to build a team that's at the top of the ACC every year. If you're at the top of the ACC every year, you'll be in the national conversation. You'll be in the NCAA tournament. If you're consistent getting to the NCAA tournament, that bracket's going to break your way a few times. And so that's the plan, that's the goal, and we're ready to hit the ground running and get to work.
One of the things you mentioned a couple of weeks ago is my next step, I want to go to a program that can win a national championship. NC State has in 74 and 83, and last year's run to the Final Four showed it can happen again. What are the ingredients that you see that you need to win a national championship?
I think we've got everything that we need here at NC State. I think that the first part, you got to have passionate fans, and we certainly have that. As I found out the last couple of weeks, we've got an incredible fan base, we've got incredible infrastructure, and then the biggest piece is you got to have great leadership. We've got great leadership with Boo Corrigan, the athletic director. We've got great leadership in our university administration with our chancellor and chancellor-elect, and so just very, very excited that we're all on one accord, we're all moving in the same direction, and if you have all that stuff moving and you've got the brand of NC State, you've got the city of Raleigh, you've got the ACC, we're going to be hard to stop.
Before this process started, you've had stops along the way. What did you know of NC State? What was your impression of NC State prior to all this?
Well, I was a finalist 8 years ago, so I had a pretty good sense of NC State. I went to school in the ACC, so I'd played in Lenovo now, but it was called something else back then. So I'd been to NC State. I've been around Raleigh quite a bit in recruiting, even when I was at VCU. So I spent a lot of time in the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic as well, up in Virginia. And so I know the area well. I know all about the great history that we have here at NC State. I worked with a coach once who told me, he said, never take a job where there's no banners hanging, because if they haven't hung banners, you're not going to be the first to do it. That means there's some issues. Well, we got banners. We got a lot of banners around here. So it's our job to come in here and to be good stewards of the program and to continue to add to hanging more banners.
You mentioned briefly earlier about some of the things that you may have seen on social media. I know you were busy at the time, but did you kind of get a chuckle at some of the things that you saw and all of the Wade Avenue that you got to ride in on yesterday?
Well, I'm not on social media, so I've got a guy on my staff who he controls our Twitter handle and all that stuff. So I'm not on it, but he gives me some updates.
You got the lowdown.
And he showed me some pretty funny things. So the NC State fans are great. They're engaged, and hey, we're excited and ready to get rolling.
All right, let's go back in time a little bit. I want to ask you about yourself. You started your basketball journey, as far as I can Google, for what it's worth, as a student manager at Clemson, or was it prior? When did this journey start for you?
I was a student manager, and I was going to be a high school history teacher and teach history and coach high school basketball, and the coach at the time said, well, stick around and be a GA. So I was a GA, and then he promoted me to ops and became an assistant and just kind of moved through. But I'm a teacher at heart. My mom was an educator for over 30 years. So we run our basketball program a lot like that. We want to give our guys life lessons, not only on the court, but also off the court. We want them to leave here as better players and better people as well. So that's really, really important to me. That's really, really important to my staff. And so that's a product of my background.
Let's go back even a little further and talk about your illustrious basketball playing career.
Very short. We can cut the segment now. We could cut the segment now. That's pretty much non-existent.
But you played JV basketball, right? And then after that, you decided this is not for me.
Yeah, there's not a big market for unathletic guys that aren't very tall.
The Franklin Road Panthers don't have the jersey retired?
It's not retired. Maybe retired for other reasons, but not retired. But no, it's you find something you're passionate about and you enjoy doing, and you go work to do it, and that's what we've done.
When did your passion for basketball begin, and how did it begin?
My mom was a basketball coach when she got started, and so I've always been around the game. And once I was in college, I kind of saw how it all worked. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool, and you can impact a lot of lives. I'm not just talking about our players, but our NC State community, our fan base. These people are passionate now. And it means a lot to a lot of people. And so we want to do right by those folks every day. We want to make sure that that they're proud of what we do, that we're representative, we're blue collar, we're gritty. We do the things that represent, our people and our university. And that's really, really important to me, and that's what we're going to do.
So your bio's easy to find. You're well known. A lot of postseasons. You start out at Chattanooga. You're 30, 31.
I can't believe they hired me, but yes.
Yeah, you're 30, 31 with the Mocs. You're right there at the top of the league. You've been at some stops along the way, right? Even prior to that, you were at Harvard, VCU assistant.
Point out I coached at Harvard. I didn't go to Harvard.
You coached at Harvard. That's fair. That's fair.
Sure,
right?
Let's make sure we point that out.
It's fair. You were under
you
Coach
probably talked
Amaker.
to me. You could figure out I didn't go to Harvard.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see how deep we get in the data analytics, and then we'll rehash. You're 30, 31, whatever you were at Chattanooga, and prior Harvard, and then coming on through. How much have you learned along the way? How different are you along the way? How different is this Will Wade coach now here for the Pack as he was for the Mocs?
I mean, it's a huge difference. If you're not evolving, you're not gonna continue to move forward. And so, I'm a lot different. I'm in my early 40s now, so I'm an old man. But I think that you learn everywhere along the way. And certainly, I had some issues at LSU. I was a little too full of myself. I was pretty arrogant. Now I'm still very confident. But there's a difference between being confident and arrogant and reckless. And I was arrogant and reckless there. And I'm much more confident here. And I try to toe that line and do a much better job of that. But you evolve, and that's what we've done. And I think NC State's going to get the best version of me, and I'm a lot better for everything that we've been through and all the lessons that I've learned. And I'm excited to be here and apply those.
Everywhere you've been, 11 years as a head coach, Chattanooga, VCU, LSU, McNeese State, you've never had a losing season. What are the ingredients that go into that, and how have you been able to maintain that unbelievable excellence throughout, no matter where you are?
It's a good bio. I like that. You should be my agent. But no, I mean, look, we've had good players. I mean, the number one key to everything is good players. You got to have good players. You got to put them in the right systems. If you get good players and put them in the right systems, you're going to win. And we've got a pretty good system. I'm not saying it's the best system, but it works really well for us. It works when we have the right type guys in our system. And so we try to spend a lot of time making sure we get the right folks. And then when you get the right folks, you put them in the right systems. Winning happens. And so at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. We're here to win. We're here to win big. We're here to add to the banners here at NC State. And we're very, very excited about what we have ahead of us.
I got you down as 40-2 in the league with McNeese State over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I've got you down at 58-11 overall, right? And then all the postseasons that Jeff just mentioned. You had a presser most recently after the game to Purdue, right? And it seemed like an emotional moment.
Yeah.
You intimated or insinuated about their program like macro, right? You're talking about, it seemed like you had considered the program big picture. What do you transfer across every stop that's, big picture program building and not just X's and O's that translates?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that early in my career, we asked how I evolved early. Early in my career, it was just all basketball. Let's win. Let's move on. I mean, that was just boom, 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 boom. Now it's much more about creating an experience for our players, creating an experience for our fans, and having an impact. Like, I want to have an impact. Like, I want our people, meaning our fans, our donors, the greater NC State community, I want us to be something they can be proud of. I want them to walk into work on a Wednesday after we win on Tuesday and puff their chest out, say, we're NC State, we won. Bring it on. I like developing a sense of community, developing a sense of belonging, and having our team tied in with the greater community. And that happened in a way that I could have never imagined at McNeese. And we helped change that place forever. And, if I could make, a tenth of the impact here at NC State that we made at McNeese, it would be phenomenal. But that's really, really important to me now, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to do that here at NC State.
One of the quotes I saw recently from one of your assistants, Brandon Chambers, said about you, quote, "He always has the players' interests in mind. He coaches them hard, but he also loves them harder." How do you balance those two things?
Well, when we're on the court, it's about business. Look, you can either get the job done or you can't. But they also know that, hey, we're there for them off the court. We're there for them with whatever they need. We're there for them to, to make sure that they're, that they're looked after for the rest of their lives. Is that when you sign with us, even if you come to us for 1 year as a transfer, like you're with us for a long time. And, we're with you for a long time. And so, that's the magic in what you do. It's not just about what happens between the lines. And they'll play a lot harder for you if they know you care for them. You know you love them. And our love's unconditional. I tell our kids that all the time. It has nothing to do with whether we win or lose. It has nothing to do with, if you're the best player, you're the worst player. Everybody has a responsibility in our program. And if you carry out your responsibility, we're going to carry out our responsibilities for you from here until whenever you don't want us to be a part of your lives anymore. And so that's really, really important to me. And that's something that, I think our players have appreciated through the years.
We've gone 10 minutes. We'll keep you for just a few more. Immediate next steps. Let's look forward a little bit. You've had the press conference. You're here now. You're in Raleigh, right? You're in the practice facility. What do you have to do?
We got some players. We ain't got any players running around the practice facility right now. We got to get some players. Look, the most immediate, the most immediate things are three things. One, we've got to hire staff. So we're in the process of doing that and going through HR and getting everything settled there. But we've got to hire staff. Then we got to get some players, whether it be freshmen or portal. We've got to go in the, we've got to get some guys. And then three, we've got to build a competitive schedule. So we got to build a schedule that allows our players to flourish and allows our players to show what we can do, and then allows us to have the net and have everything that is responsible for us getting to the NCAA tournament next year. So, really it's staff, players, scheduling. Those are the three most important priorities as we get going. And then certainly we want to engage the fans. We want to meet the former players. We want to do that sort of stuff. But that stuff goes a lot easier when you got good players and you know that things are going to go well. So that's going to be our priority for the next month to 6 weeks. And then after that, we'll implement the rest of our plan for the program. But that's really where our narrow focus is these next couple weeks.
There's the physical part that you look for in a player, but what are some of the other intangibles that you want to play for you?
Yeah, we look. I think guys that have overcome adversity in their life. I always ask that. I've overcome some adversity, and you're always better when you've overcome adversity. And if you've done it, look, there's going to be adverse conditions in our program. Every day, you're going to be put in some really, really tough positions. And if you've shown at other parts of your life that you've been able to overcome that, it's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to do that daily in our program, but it gives you a better chance. And so we look for markers and we look for, different parts of their journey that we think are applicable to basketball and applicable to our program. And when we find those guys, it hits. And, we're looking for 10, 12 of those guys, and they're out there. And it's our job to bring them to Raleigh and to bring them to NC State.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Will
Thank
Wade,
you, guys.
New basketball coach here for the Pack.